Samson was an Israelite who couldn't get a girlfriend. So he went to the Philistines and he employed a harlot, a prostitute, to pay him the money. And he was messing around, and the Israelites and the Philistines had this big disagreement, so he was super strong. He went and carried off the city gates. Well, this made the Philistines real mad, and they had a big old fight. Next thing you know, Samson's trying to catch 300 foxes and tie a torch to the tail of each one, tie them all together, light the torches, and let them run through the fields of an agrarian system, taking out the next year's food supply. Well, at one fox a day, that's 300 days or 10 months worth of catching foxes with no days off for Sabbath. Now, if I tied a torch to the tail of 300 horses and tied the horses together and started lighting these torches, the horses would be restless, they would not be easily managed, they would be out of control. Well, 300 foxes are not more controllable than 300 horses, and super strength is apparently a lot of help, but may not be enough help for that. That is an interesting story. But what happens is, the Philistines go to Delilah and say, Delilah, you got to get him. So Delilah says, hey, Samson, what's the cause of your super strength? So Samson lies. He says, if I stand on one foot and cough with my left hand, I'll be weak as any other man. And so they make him stand on one foot and cough with his left hand, and he's not weak as any other man. He says, you're wrong. Well, what else is it, Samson? What is it really, Samson? Well, if I wear a blue tie on Wednesdays, then I'll be weak as any other man. So they arrange for him to wear a blue tie on Wednesdays, and kaput, he's not weak as any other man. They do this 6 different times. Well, Samson's just laughing. He can lie all he wants to, get away with it. They can't touch him, right? And then Delilah comes to him and says, Samson, didn't God tell you to tell the truth? Samson, what happens if you tell me the real reason why you're super strong? I mean, is God going to take your super strength away just because you tell the truth? So he says, no, God says tell the truth. Fine, Delilah. What really happened is, if you cut my hair, I'll be weak as any other man. Delilah cuts his hair, snip, snip, kaput, but wait. He's weak as any other man. He's not super strong anymore. So what do? They gouge his eyes out and put him on this millstone that grinds wheat into flour, pushing it around in a circle like an ass or a donkey, in a physical double entendre of calling him a jackass. And they sit around the catcall and they mock him and they say, Samson, did you take the city gates away? Well, yeah. How'd you do it, Samson? Well, I was super strong. Oh, how'd you get to be super strong, Samson? God of Israel made me strong. Well, do it again, Samson. I can't. Why not, Samson? Isn't there a God anymore? Aren't you super strong? God took my super strength away. Go on, Samson. Prove there's a God. And if you think they didn't mock him, they brought him to a wedding for the purpose of doing nothing but mocking him on a special occasion. And on that occasion, there's this building. He went down to the basement, stood between the pillars, and as they were mocking him, he asked God for his super strength, got it back, pushed his palms apart, and the building fell on him. So, in the Bible story, he killed more people in his death than he killed in his life. And you can read the story about all the lying and the messing around and all that stuff, plowed with my heifer, or whatever, in a bestial illusion. But the point of this is, Samson couldn't get a girlfriend. He went and lived with a prostitute. The woman betrayed him. He got his eyes gouged out, was made a jackass and a symbol of mockery. They made fun of him. He went to a wedding and a building fell on him. Now that is not a very successful life for one of the people in the litany of faith in James.